partnership of doing things for the border. One was our ranch patrol. We have 2 deputies assigned to agriculture needs here in Cochise County. And they're both ranching background. And the testing processes we do are all comprehensive based, common sense based, skill based, and then we go right, whoever's number 1, right down the list. I don't go pick number 3 because he's my friend. It's based on, I love that there's people down here I like more than I do here, but that's not how we do it. It's based on consistency and standardization. We standardize the department in many ways that way. But so the 2 deputies that tested both have a very strong ranching community background. One's the Karchners. Jay Karchner works out of the Benton area, and the other one was Mike McLaughlin. Matt's, his dad's got a ranch east of Douglas on the border down there. So those are, and they go out and they spend time with ranchers. Give you an example, I had a rancher call me and said, hey, one of my cows was shot and killed. I said, okay. And we sat and talked for a few minutes. I go, let me get one of our ranch guys out there. This is over by the Wilcox area. Within 20, this is like the 5th cow that was shot. Within 24 hours, he had 2 people in custody. And again, it just goes back to good police work, passionate police work, and as Tom knows, a little bit of luck too, don't get me wrong. So, but again, you gotta be there to investigate it. You can't do it on a phone. We went out there. So again, these guys have done really great work. The other thing they do is they gather that intel based on nexus crimes to the border, and they bring that back to our new border team. It's a regional team under that mission that you're reading right there, under my direction, my authority. It's made up of Sports and Customs and also Border Patrol agents, a very small team. There are 6 to 8 of them that go out there. They work on part-time basis, which means they're not out there 24/7, 7 days a week. They're out there 8 to 14 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6, depending on what the mission is. We kick that off later part of July, and from July till September, October, these stats are a little, I'll pass these around for you too. And then I'll update it. But as of end of October, I think it was, they've seized 3,000 pounds of marijuana, 7 firearms off smugglers, 4 ounces of meth, and took into custody 30 smugglers. Now what we've done is, and 3 were juveniles by the way, what we've done is, once we get them, we soak them for intel, tell us what's going on, and then what they do is, we actually have, the county attorney has a program called the Early Resolution Court. Within 2 weeks, the charges are filed, they're processed. If they agree upon it, they're in the State Department of Corrections for 2 years. And right now, I think they all are there now. I think they're all processed out, sitting in DOC. Now these are experienced smugglers that know the routes, know the savviness. And so the intel coming back to me was, they did not like me. Things have changed. And I was, my narcotic guys, intel guy sat down with me and said, Sheriff, you need to be real careful. They don't like you. I said, that's okay, that's okay. You know, but my concern wasn't with me. You know, for me, them to come after me is kind of unlikely, I think, and maybe ignorant on my part. But I worry about the ranchers. They're the vulnerable ones in this, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But long story short, this unit's been kicking some butt, some real butt. And I'll tell you about some new toys we got coming for them in a minute too. You can pass these around some stats. And I reported this up at the, I think Tom's been up there too, up at the, I'm on the border security committee up at the congressional side up there, for Senate and House. Gail Griffin's on that also. So, last but not least is we put a ranch advisory team together. When I called an all-call agriculture group together and said, hey, come meet with us, let's talk. So I told them, I shared this with them and said, listen, you all need to be careful on your ranches right now. You need to be really careful. Arm up, whatever you're comfortable with. Just be very vigilant what's going on. Because, and they said, the feedback we're getting from our ranching folks was the smugglers were taking different routes through their properties, all of this, because they knew we were knocking the hoot out of them. We had our cameras set up there, they're smashing our cameras, all this kind of thing. So, and so I told them about that. So out of that, what we did do is we set up a ranch advisory team. And that team is a consultant group of all of our agriculture folks that if we have a missing person, we have a scenario like the recent Auger Prieta shooting down there. Once we notify we know something's going on, we send a link to all of them so they know exactly what's going on in their community to be alerted, and then they spread that out for us. But they're an advisory team that keeps us informed that if we're missing something with them or we need to know something. So we've really built a real strong, very trusted relationship with our ranching community, and they call me 2 in the morning, hey Sheriff, guess what? Hang on just a second. Okay. So again, we got a lot of good dialogue going there on that. The last is community outreach. We have 2 deputies assigned. We actually have 3. We took Carol Campus, who you historically know has been our PIO, but we moved that into the community outreach unit, and I call it the marketing unit. How we market our business to the community and how the community shares that back with us. There's 21 schools under our umbrella of authority here in Cochise County that we service and we're a primary responder to. We've gone to them and said, hey, we'll do your safety risk assessments. We also did the Boys and Girls in Sierra Vista too with them for risk assessment. But so we partnered up with them. They do all outreach in the community. We did an anti-violence in our schools charity run last May, raising money. The money raised went back into help some of our rural schools fund programs. RICO's the money that we get when we seize it from drug runners, and we seize houses and we liquefy it and cleanse it, I call it, and then we put it back out into different programs. Bisbee, Douglas, Alfreda schools, I've given them here 2,000 last year and there 2,000. It's in process right now for anti-drug and alcohol programs in their schools. Every school will send a letter, which we're going to be sending that out here probably this month.